Pictures float by, including 2 girls in a tree, a bride, a boy holding a sparkler, a man, a woman, and a dog. A woman standing near the ocean, 2 girls at a playground, a woman kissing a baby, and a girl watering flowers. The hosts are standing together. Scrapbook memories. They're sitting at a table.
We're so glad you could join us again for Scrapbook Memories. I'm Beth Madlin, and this is Michelle Gerbrandt and Julie McGuffey, and we're your hosts for another edition of Scrapbook Memories. Every week, we start out with a new topic, one that interests us all. And today we thought it was time to put a little fun in our scrapbooks with some humor.
You are so right. Now, I'm known for loving a good pun, but that's just one of the ways to add a little humor to your pages. Sometimes it's the story behind the photograph that really lets you in on the joke.
Well, and I have to admit, I don't often take funny photos. I don't see life from that way, but I think you can reflect your humor with serious photos on your pages as well, like this one. This cracks me up. I mean, this is, a basic photo. It wouldn't be anything funny, but the way you combine it and design your page can be very funny. And this, it says, toddlers rule the house at
For
age
sure.
2.
And the parents are on a string.
Yeah, really.
So funny. It's great.
It's like one of those cartoon captions.
And here's another one where it's a beautiful picture, but again, it's like, when I grow up, I want to be the Lion King.
It is. It's the caption that makes it funny.
Here's
Sure.
Bugsy the Boxer. Again, serious photos, but a very fun page.
Another way to use your extra photos, too.
Yeah, that's really great. Well, I like funny photographs, and I love to see the fun things in life.
Because you do.
That's
right.
right.
Yeah.
That's what it's
Yeah.
all about. And a picture says 1,000 words, and I think that's just funny. I obviously haven't scrapbooked it yet, but it's still a funny photograph.
That's okay.
And then have you ever looked at the photographer when they're taking the pictures
so
and all the contortions that they go through to get the perfect shot? Well, here are some photographs of the photographers, and I just think they're a hoot.
They are.
Now, this
That's
is
great.
like a very strange photograph to take, but I just couldn't resist it.
Oh, that's so funny.
This is a law office, and there's a shark's head over the top because next door there was like a surf shop or something.
I thought the lawyer put it there.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. I wonder if he thought about it before he put his sign up underneath. There's even a trash can outside the door.
He probably laughed.
And then this is an awful photograph, but I couldn't resist taking it and actually took it to the picture kiosk and enlarged it so you could see the caption underneath. It's a stop sign, and it says 2-hour parking underneath. I mean, go figure. It's like the bottle of sleeping tablets. And on the side it says caution may cause drowsiness. I mean,
Of course. Well, your photos are funny. My photos, in my case, they tend to tell a story. I mean, they're cute photos. They're of, we just built a doghouse, and my husband was trying to entice the dogs into the doghouse with puppy treats. And I thought, I've got to capture this on film. And finally, Will is literally in the doghouse, and he's, crawling in to get the puppy treats.
So I'm so glad you didn't have to teach the dogs how to eat.
No, that's for sure.
Beth, I love that story. That is so great. Well, we have some great guests today, too. They have some other ideas on adding humor to your pages and some serious scrapbook ideas, too. Julie and Beth are up first with a lesson on wire. We all like to add embellishments to our pages, and wire is a fun and interesting accent. Barbara Koskas has a great way to add humor with balloon captions on your photos.
Desiree Tanner joins us with a new embellishment, bradlets. Now, I've heard of brads, but let's find out about this new item. Then it's off to the Memories Expo show for another fabulous new product.
I have a great idea for cards using a new border punch. Then Catherine Chambliss, our photo expert, joins us with tips for adding text to your photos, funny or serious.
Well, let's get ready for some fun ideas on Scrapbook Memories. Beth and I will be right back.
The hosts smile and look at the funny photos again later in the studio.
Wire is such a great accent to your pages, but it can also be a new material for a lot of scrapbookers. So we thought we'd start out today with basic techniques showing just how to work with wire.
Well, wire is a staple in arts and crafts. And I've also had a lot of fun adding wire accents to my scrapbook pages. And it's very, very easy to do. So I thought today we'd probably start off and talk a little bit about the tools and about wire itself. And then next week we'll actually get into some different things with wire. But let's do some basics first, okay? Now, I have 3 tools that I'm going to be using. The first is a wire cutter. And of course, we're going to have to cut our wire at some point. And then these are nylon jaw pliers, and we're going to be using those to actually straighten the wire in case you form it, decide you don't like it, so you can straighten it out again and use it again. And then the third tool are the needle nose pliers, and we're going to use these to make the little loops at the end so we can anchor the wire, in some cases, to our scrapbook pages.
Okay.
Okay. Now, wire itself comes in lots and lots of different colors.
Such pretty colors.
Aren't they pretty?
Oh,
They just
gosh.
really pop right off those pages. There's metallics, really bright metallics, some that are not quite so bright, and then there are some that are non-metallic. And all the color is permanent, which is really good for us to know, right?
Right.
Okay, let's start with some really simple accents that we can do on our scrapbook pages. And this is something that we used to do a lot in arts and crafts. And to do this, I'm actually using a 24 gauge wire.
What does that mean versus the other gauges?
Right, the higher the number, the thinner the wire. And probably maybe the easier it is to work with to start with. We're gonna make a spiral. This is a very exquisite tool. It's just an old wooden dowel. I think at one point there was a flag on it. So I'm going to hold the wire with my thumb on the dowel, and then I'm just going to wrap it around and around like this. And depending on how long you want your spiral to be, will depend how much you wrap it. If it's too long, you can always use your wire cutters and cut it off.
Sure.
I'm just going to slide it right off, and there you can see we have our spiral.
Should we cut it off now, or you have another project with it?
Why don't you go ahead and do that? And these wire cutters are really neat because you can cut up really close to the end of your embellishment that you've made. Now, I can leave it like that, like we did for the pumpkins to make the little tendrils, or I can pull it out a little bit further. The other thing I can do, I can use the nylon jaw pliers. I can actually squish it down, and I can make it lay flat on my page.
That way it won't be too lumpy.
That's right.
Okay.
I'll just move right along here. But you get the idea. If you look at this first little loop, you can see that it is quite flat. Now, as I said, if I don't like this and I want to do something else, I can pull it apart.
This is my favorite tool.
And take the nylon jaw pliers, hang on tightly to one end, and you may have to do it once or twice, but see?
How many times do you make a mistake and go, oh, I need to do that again?
Good. Oh, lots of times.
Yes,
lots
absolutely.
and lots and lots of times.
Now, you have some shapes you want to show us, or?
Well, the other thing I wanted to do is actually make a zigzag. So let me show you how to do that. You just wrap it around a piece of card like this, or you can make a really big zigzag by using a ruler. I'll just pull that off here like that. And there we've got a little zigzag accent.
Great for a border.
So easy. Now, we all love hearts. Let me notice I'm using the same piece of wire. Just to make a little heart, I'm going to use a marker. I'm going to wrap it around twice, pull it off. I'll fasten these two ends together, twist like this. I have two loops here. We'll pull those apart, and there you have a nice little heart.
Well, we'll have to do more wire next week. More
I think
techniques
so,
coming
too.
our way.
That's
Thanks, Julie.
right.
Now time to talk about computers. Did you know that with your computer, you can easily add captions to some of your favorite photos? Barbara Katzos will show us how to add humor with custom word bubbles and readable thoughts to your photos and layouts, just like in the comic strips.
Beth and Julie talk for a moment. In the studio, Barbara's standing near a laptop computer.
Hi. We've all probably seen that product before that you can buy in a Photoshop. That is a package of pre-printed labels that you could stick on a photo to do something like this. It allows you to add some humor to some of your photos and really have some fun with your pages. Well, I'd like to show you that there's a really easy way that you can do that with your own home computer, and the advantage is you can put whatever you want inside that call-out shape. You don't have to go with a photo that works with a pre-printed option. So watch this. I'm going to go into Microsoft Word, which is the basic word processing program that comes with most computers. I'm going to go into this product here, this feature called Auto Shapes. They have a listing called Callouts. I'm going to select this one here. Watch this. As I pull down on it, I can make it whatever size I like. Then what I'd like to do is add some text inside that box. I'm going to put the word yes. And then I'm going to play with the size of that font. I'm going to make it as big as I need it to be to fill up the space nicely. Then I'm going to center it. And then I'm going to say, OK, let's play. Now that I've got the text in there, play with the shape. You can see that that's a pretty cool way of putting the word yes next to this picture here. Well, the last thing I'd like to point out is this is the easy way to do it on your computer. But you're pretty much on your own as far as selecting all the different options that you have for filling your humor in your box. That's it for today. I'm Barbara Katzos. We'll see you next time.
Julie's talking with a woman wearing a light green sweater.
Okay, Desiree, I've heard of Wallace and Gromit, and I've heard of Brads and Grommets, but what are Bradlets?
Bradlets are teeny tiny little brads.
And we're going to use them how?
We love using them in all types of paper crafting projects, scrapbooking pages, cards. We've used them here. And like a normal brad, you just pierce it through the paper and spread the back wings apart, and you've got a darling little accent.
Okay. Well, there's something really special about this little card. You have to show us.
This is a fun card. They also allow you to make movable props on your pages, so you can make your little fairy fly.
She's
or
really
wave.
Sweet. She's waving her wand over us, right?
She is. Let me show you how easy it is. You just can pierce the paper with either a scissor, or if it's a lightweight paper, you can actually pierce it with the Bradlet, place it through.
Or could use a little hole punch, too.
You bet. And if you do it really lightly, then you can make movable projects. But you just spread the wings in the back, and you've got a little person.
That is so cute. She looks like she's wearing a bikini.
Isn't she so cute? And we have all kinds of fun things to show you. They also come in all different shapes and all different colors. However, if you want to make a little card that has a different color Bradlet on it, you just take your Bradlet and hold it with a sticker tweezer, and then heat it up with an embossing tool. Now when it gets pretty hot, you just dip it in embossing powder and then heat it up again.
Julie watches as she stands next to Desiree.
That is so easy. So it's actually the opposite of rubber stamping. You're actually heating the Bradlet first, then putting the powder on, and then you're just melting it right on, because it's metal, right?
Sure.
It's going to hold it in place.
Sure, and it'll stick right onto that hot metal, and then you just melt it on. And then you can pierce it through to make little eyes, and all you have to do is take a black pen and put the little dot in the middle. Then what you can do is open it up with sticker letters.
Okay.
And we have some neat overlay letters that you take a little vine and you put it on your B if you're going to write Bailey in the inside of the card. And then you take a little ladybug and put her right on there. And you've got an overlay letter.
Yeah, you've got your alphabet letters with all the embellishments as well for just whatever page or whatever theme that you're doing.
Right, to make a lot of different themes out of one sticker alphabet.
Okay. Now then, if you'd like to move those over there a little bit. I know you brought some other samples with you.
Tons.
So tell us a little bit about these.
Well, this is a great technique when you use Bradlets so that you don't have to put any adhesive on the back of vellum. Because you know when you use adhesive with vellum, you get a little mark.
Yeah, you do sometimes.
And this alleviates that. It also creates a little pocket for you to put a little tag in.
And on this one?
These are some fun different shapes that Bradlets come in. They come in hearts and stars and squares and circles and flowers. And this just shows you all the different shapes and how fun they can look on a tree.
Just something for everybody, right? And then this is so pretty, Des.
Isn't that fun? You can take pre-made embellishments and just use your Bradlets as the center and also as accents as flowers. And also adhere.
With the Bradlets.
You bet.
Okay, so the little green flowers that you had on there, those were actually embroidered flowers, is that correct?
They were,
Those are really pretty.
Right.
Now
It makes it dimensional too, which is nice.
Another card we have.
Fun. Now, the secret with this one is to put the brads on the envelope before you put the envelope on the page so that you can tuck all kinds of little love notes inside.
Okay, and then of course we have to have a scrapbook page.
Well, all of these elements can be used on a scrapbook page, of course, but we actually made one with it, and you can take the Bradlets and make little tiny grape clusters out of them to go in the cornucopia, and we've cut this with a die cutting machine on the fold so that you can hide your
for all your journaling.
Your intimate journaling.
These are just great ideas. Thank you so much for coming and sharing them with us.
You're so welcome.
Next, Scrapbook Memories takes you on location to Orlando. Now let's see what Sandra Joseph has in store for us.
In Orlando, Julie's standing with Sandra and another woman.
We're at the Memories Expo Scrapbook Show in Orlando, Florida. And before Sandra lost her voice, she did arrange for us to talk to Tracy Young from Tumblebee Stickers.
Welcome,
Tracy,
Tracy.
thank you so much for taking time away. But we had to see these stickers that you have, because we all know what stickers are, but yours are just a little bit different.
We're very proud of our sticker line. First of all, we have our Southwestern line. Being from New Mexico, we realized that there was a real need for the Southwestern stickers that are realistic.
Right.
and easy to work with.
Well, they are beautiful, and Sandra is showing us the viewers some samples, and they look gorgeous on the pages because it's so important that everything blends together. Yes, and the colors are so good. I mean, they are very realistic. Go right along with our photographs, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Now, you also have heritage stickers that are very beautiful.
We're very proud of our heritage line because we really captured the feeling and the aura and the colored hues of the heritage photos that you're going to be using on your page.
Right. They have that same vintage look that the old photographs do.
They're called Dorothy's?
Yes, yes.
And again, Sandra's got some wonderful samples for us. If we look at that last page, Sandra, that is so beautiful. And the stickers, they have a clear background so that they blend right into the paper.
Right.
And it has that extra special look.
Very easy to work with.
Tracy, thank you so much for taking time out from the show. We've really enjoyed talking to you. Now stay tuned because we're going to be right back. We're going to join Beth in the studio.
Beth and Julie are standing near the counter in the studio.
You know, we don't always have to make scrapbook pages with our scrapbook supplies. Cards are also a really neat thing to make. And I think that's what we're going to do today, right, Beth?
We are, and we have a card here that's got like a Greek border on it. There's a border along the white paper, and then there's this coordinating border for the vellum. It all matches, goes well together. The other thing about the blue paper is that it's two-tone, so there's blue on both sides. So let's show you how this card's done.
All right.
Okay.
I love the way all these papers work together. It makes it a lot easier for us, doesn't it?
It really does. I'm basically just going to cut a 12 by 12 piece here. It's about 4.5 inches high. And then we need to score this.
Okay, because we're going to fold it.
Right.
And to make a nice crease. Okay.
Julie is the one to do this.
Well, I'm going to move this paper, this trimmer over here for just a second, and I'm actually going to remove the cutting blade. And you can actually separate the ruler.
And this is how you would exchange blades too.
Right, just very carefully. And then this is a scoring blade. It's black, and there's no blade underneath. It's just a little plastic point. And I'm just going to put that in there, and then we'll line up this. And this is 12 inches, you said, right? So I'm going to score at the 6-inch mark. So we'll flip out that little ruler there, move it over to 6 inch, and then just as if we're cutting, we're going to go down like that, and just lift this up. And there you have a really nice scoring line to fold your
very
card.
nicely. Very great. So now we have the card here. And what we're going to do is show you how to make this cool border. Okay, so I took a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper, and I cut it down to the width I needed. I knew I only needed this much. So I already cut it down, and I was going to take my punch here. And this is a long punch with a border along it. And basically, you just put it in the middle here, and then we're going to follow a pattern once we do this first punch. And I'm just going to press down, and then lift back up. And there you have this nice.
That's a really pretty design, isn't it?
So in order to finish this, you just want to go over here and line it up again where there's a painted pattern. There.
Okay, kind of like registration marks that we have to stencil in.
Yes, you've taught me that. Punch again, and then pull out. And you keep doing that up and down. Now the one thing is when I want to do a border like that, I did the whole page because I want to find where my card will fit best. I want to know what point my card will fit best. And so I just kind of want to play around here.
You're going to make the pattern even at the same at the top as it is at the bottom.
And that looks pretty good, and I have already done one for that.
Beth, you must be a perfectionist.
Oh, I try. Try, but sometimes fail. And then here's another example where we would score this on the edge here, and then we'd also score this vellum on the same place. We could just easily fold it over and put some adhesive on the back. And there you have your card.
You know, that is so easy and so simple to do. It's just great. And there's other designs for borders too. We just have one more sample to show, which is a great Christmas card. It's beautiful. We can do all kinds of different cards for all different occasions.
Right.
Catherine Chambliss is our next guest, and she has some wonderful photo tips for us using the photo kiosk to add text.
Beth and Catherine are in the studio near the photo kiosk.
Well, you won't believe how easy it is to add some words, some text to your photos. Catherine Chambliss is here to show us how it's done. What a great idea, especially when you want to highlight a photo and something funny that happened like this page.
That's right. Journaling is very important. We need to add journaling, but why not just highlight a certain part of that journaling and put it right on the photo? This layout is about little Gray, who's supposed to be taking a nap, but instead got into his mother's markers. And so we wanted to put right on the photo. I found a green marker, and it was this big because of the motion he's making in the photo.
So we want to make this text happen. So do we go to a picture kiosk and
That's right.
let's
It's
go to
very
ours
easy.
here and try it.
Take the original.
They take the photo and go to the kiosk. She places the photo on the machine.
We're going to go ahead and put the picture right on the glass. We're going to make prints and enlargements. We're actually going to enlarge that photo to a 5x7.
It should be the highlight photo on the page.
Exactly. So we're going to push 2 5x7s. I'm going to agree that this is a personal photo, not a copyrighted photo. We're starting with a picture. So I'm going to push Scan Color Picture. Takes a few seconds to scan.
Now, where do you find these picture kiosks?
They are in the photo centers of most retail stores nationwide.
Okay, just look for the big yellow box, huh?
You'll find them everywhere. And it's about finished. Okay, this is how it's scanned, and it's done scanned correctly. We're going to push OK. We're going to edit it, or we're going to zoom and crop it first.
Okay.
I want to leave a little more room on the side for all of my text that's going to go over here. So I'm going to make the red box slightly smaller, move it around. You can see just by pushing the buttons on the screen, it shows where you're going to crop.
Right.
I'm going to push Save, because that's how I'd like to see it in the end. Then I'm going to push Edit. That's where my text is. Down here at the bottom, you'll see Add Text. And simply, all you have to do is just push the screen. So we're going to start here, and I'm going to do some capitals and smaller letters.
You're a good finger typer.
Oh, you have to be. Day.
She continues typing.
It's very, very easy to do.
And I'm sure it comes in different colors. You're actually going to print out white, but if you wanted to do a different color, you could highlight that. The green, perhaps, since it was a green marker.
That's right.
And what parent hasn't had something like this with scissors or markers?
It is a common thing. All right. So when you're finished typing, push Done. It's going to show here on the screen. And the keys, the arrows over here, just help you determine where it's going to stay on the page.
Had no idea.
So you just move this around to where you want it. And in the interest of time, we'll just leave it right there, and I'll show you how you can change color. There's different shades of red, black. We're going to keep it white. You can also change text style.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, there are a lot of options. We'll keep it at that. We'll push Save. This is how it would appear when we print it out.
Sure.
So we'll push Save again, and then Print. And we have already printed it here.
Okay.
So you can see that we enlarged it, cropped it a little bit, and added the text right here on the picture.
Well, let's go back and look at the original scrapbook page.
Okay, let me get my original photo.
Can't leave that.
No.
Okay.
They return to the counter.
So you can see here we have the text right on the photo, which I just trimmed and added to the actual layout. One thing I wanted to point out is that you don't have to do the same photo on one page. So if I had another 5x7 I wanted to, or a photo I wanted to enlarge to 5x7, I could have done that.
Okay. And want to show how it looks on green if we can, just because the green is a different look, and also it goes with the topic, you know?
So you could have chosen a different color to actually put there right on there.
And also, we did it from a picture, but hey, you can go with other things to the
A digital
picture
camera
kiosk.
card, a photo CD, all of those things will work.
Okay, Catherine, what a great project.
Thank you.
And I hope this kid's no longer green.
It took a few days.
I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did. Well, let's join Michelle and Julie for a wrap-up of today's program.
Julie, Beth, and Michelle sit together at the table.
In keeping with today's theme, Julie found a very fun new item, a memory book that actually talks.
That's right. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's one thing when your children talk back to you, but when your photograph album talks back to you, you really have to think about that. But when my children were born, I used to send my parents cassette tapes because things like this hadn't been invented then. And this is really, really neat. It's a new type thing.
Fun.
You make your recording. You can say whatever you want. You have 25 seconds.
For each 12 recordings.
For each 12 recordings. And then when you want to play it back, page number 1, you just press number 1.
Are we having fun yet?
So I think it's really neat. It's a nice gift idea.
I think that's a great idea, especially if you have a grandparent, you want to record their voice or send something far away.
Or baby album,
you want to hear what your voice was when it was small.
Sure. Wouldn't that be neat?
This is so fun. I love this. Well, thanks for joining us on Scrapbook Memories. Next time, we start out with a topic that I've really spent some time on, how to change an 8.5 by 11 page to a 12 by 12. Sometimes you need just a little bit more room, and sometimes your favorite pages were designed for a smaller album.
And make sure you let us know if you have any new ideas you'd like to see on our pages by visiting us at scrapbookmemoriestv.com.
Well, we hope you'll join us to create some new memories next time on Scrapbook Memories.
Scrapbook Memories is made possible in part by Fiskars Consumer Products Incorporated. Pursue your passions. Memories Expo for scrapbookers and stampers. Kodak, maker of the Kodak Picture Maker. Share moments, share life. Michelle Gerbrandt appears courtesy of Memory Makers Magazine, a national publication dedicated to creative scrapbooking. Epson America Incorporated, printers, scanners, and papers to create your own photos and ready-to-print scrapbook layouts and artwork. Sandra Joseph appears courtesy of Memories Community for scrapbookers and stampers.
Funding is also provided by Hot Off the Press, Provo Craft, and Xyron Incorporated.
For more information and instructions for today's projects, visit us on the web at scrapbookmemoriestv.com. Today's show is number 202.
The credits read in part host Michelle Gerbrandt, Beth Madlin, Julie McGuffey, executive producer Catherine Stahl, directors Danny Demian and Stuart Ryan, assistant director Sherry Sorio, editor Sherry Sorio, audio Bill McKinney. Cameras Ryan Pollock and Tom Reardon. Copyright 2002, KS Incorporated.
To receive your free copy of 99 Best Secrets for Scrapbook Success, send $1 for postage and handling to Memory Makers Free Information Offer, 12365 Huron, Suite 500, Denver, Colorado, 80234.
KS Incorporated, Creative Television, Creative Marketing. Funding for description provided by a grant from the U.S. Department of Education.